There is a fundamental tension in the modern workplace between efficiency and privacy. For years, companies have argued that monitoring tools are essential for productivity. Recently, this debate has reached a fever pitch at a major technology company. Reports indicate that employees are deeply concerned about a mandatory program designed to capture their every interaction with their computers. The goal is to train artificial intelligence models on human behavior, but the method has sparked a significant backlash regarding surveillance and consent. This situation offers a unique window into the technical realities of enterprise machine learning pipelines and the hidden risks of harvesting human behavioral data. To understand why this is controversial, we first need to look at the specific telemetry protocols involved. When you move your mouse or press a key, your operating system records these events. In a standard productivity scenario, this data is used to optimize the user interface or troubleshoot hardware. However, in the context of training artificial intelligence, the granularity changes dramatically. The system is not just logging that a key was pressed, it is recording the exact millisecond of the keystroke, the duration of the press, the specific coordinates of the cursor movement, and the velocity of the drag. This creates a behavioral fingerprint that is far more detailed than a simple log of which applications were used. Consider the difference between knowing you opened a word processor and knowing exactly how you type within it. If you type with a specific rhythm, pause for thought at certain intervals, or use a distinct pattern of mouse movements to navigate menus, the AI can learn that. This is useful for building models that mimic human input, but it raises a profound question about data sovereignty. Where does this data live? Who owns the record of your daily labor? In many enterprise machine learning pipelines, data flows from the endpoint to a central server, often moving through multiple stages of processing before it is used to update a model. If the data is not properly segmented, the behavioral patterns of one employee can inadvertently influence the training of a model that affects the workflow of another. This brings us to the issue of anonymization. In theory, personal data should be stripped of identifiers before being used for training. The problem is that human behavior is highly unique. Even if you remove names and account numbers, the sequence of your keystrokes and mouse movements can act as a biometric identifier. Just as a fingerprint is unique, your typing cadence is unique. Researchers have demonstrated that it is possible to re-identify individuals from anonymized datasets if the behavioral patterns are distinct enough. This means that even if the company claims the data is anonymous, the technical reality of the telemetry protocols suggests that the data might still be linked back to specific individuals. This failure point in anonymization is a critical vulnerability in the current approach to employee data harvesting. Furthermore, there are significant risks involved in integrating this type of data into machine learning pipelines. When you train an artificial intelligence on human behavior, you are teaching it how humans work. If the training data includes stress, fatigue, or inefficient workarounds developed by employees to cope with flawed systems, the model will learn those inefficiencies. This is known as the problem of negative reinforcement in automated systems. Instead of optimizing for best practices, the system might optimize for the status quo, locking in bad habits. Additionally, there is the risk of bias. If the data comes from a specific demographic of workers who use certain tools or work in certain ways, the resulting model will not generalize well to other groups of workers. This can lead to AI systems that are biased against certain working styles, or even penalize employees who do not conform to the patterns learned from the majority. The controversy also highlights a blurring line between voluntary tools and involuntary data harvesting. Employees often agree to install software for work purposes, assuming it is for security or productivity. However, when that software is repurposed to train foundational models without explicit, granular opt-in consent, the trust is broken. The technical implementation of these telemetry protocols often happens at a low level in the operating system, making it difficult for users to see exactly what is being sent. This lack of transparency means that employees are essentially signing a blank check for their behavioral data. They are agreeing to use the computer, but they are not necessarily agreeing to have their digital behavior archived and analyzed for AI training purposes. From a technical architecture perspective, the integration of this data requires robust infrastructure. The data must be ingested, processed, and labeled before it can be used for training. This process involves significant computational resources and storage. The risk here is not just about privacy, but about the integrity of the machine learning pipeline itself. If the data is collected without proper validation, it can introduce noise into the training set. This noise can degrade the performance of the artificial intelligence models, making them less accurate or less efficient. In an enterprise setting, this could lead to tools that are actually worse than the manual processes they are meant to replace, creating a feedback loop where the AI suggests inefficient workflows because it was trained on inefficient human behavior. The broader implication of this situation extends beyond a single company. It sets a precedent for how technology companies might treat employee data in the future. If behavioral telemetry becomes standard practice for AI training, we could see a shift where the right to privacy in the workplace is eroded in favor of algorithmic optimization. The technical feasibility is there, but the ethical framework is lagging behind. We are currently operating in a gray area where the law has not caught up to the capabilities of the technology. This creates a landscape where companies can claim they are improving productivity while actually harvesting sensitive personal information under the guise of system optimization. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.